early to get these juices flowing and see who's going to pop on. I'm also still accepting members coming into the group because I did this on my personal page, my business page, yada, yada, yada. So I know that they'll be like last minute. Oh, God, I need to get into the group. So I'll be looking out for that and checking into that. Um, yeah, while we're streaming. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So if you're just popping on, let us know where you are listening from. I always love to hear where and listening from. Hey Stacy, hey Kat. So I'm going to cover, this is a 30-minute training. We might go over because I'm all about giving as much value to you as possible. So the thing about doing this live in the group is that wherever you have to go, say you have to go, you know that you could just pick up after the 30 minutes and get the content and the value that you need. So I might go over. I'm trying to keep it at 30 minutes. However, I love to give you as much as possible. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And that's another reason why I wanted to pop on here just a couple minutes early to get like all of the disclaimers before we start. So yeah, tell us where you're listening from. You don't have to give the exact place, just like the state. What state are you in? I know there's a Florida in here. There's a North Carolina in here. I'm in North Carolina. Just let us know. And also, if you is on the replay, put a replay. That lets me know like how many people actually listen on the replay because I know my California people right now it's super early for them, so they're not going to be able to pop on at this time. And also have your favorite drink next to you. Right now it's coffee because it's early in the morning for some of us. Well, for a Sunday. I'm going to go over all the questions that you asked and give you as much value as possible. Remember, this is a very short time that I have with you. If you want the deeper healing of why you keep attracting these toxic relationships, then that's something that we can discuss further on. Everything that I share with you, yes, it is acting and it is like the things that I teach my clients. But the secret to all of this is really the investment in time in you. And that means, my clients when they sign on with me, when I give them an assignment, they have a certain amount of time and there's a reason for that. That we're rewriting stories inside of our head. If you keep attracting toxic relationships, this is a cycle and this is a pattern that you keep repeating, and it's in the subconscious, right? Your conscious mind is like, no, I don't want this. And yes, I want a safe love. I want a healthy relationship. But your subconscious mind, which is running the show, is the one, oh, but this is something that we know so well because mom and dad did it, or you've only seen these types of relationships, or you've only experienced these types of relationships since you were a teenager or a young adult or whatever, and we're just going to keep doing this. And so that's what we're breaking into, which takes time. Rewriting your story and reconditioning all of this takes time. So that's where the real investment is. If you're really ready to change this for you, for yourself. And also remember, this is something that we're teaching our children. We're teaching our children how to break this cycle and what a real relationship looks like. For 22 years, my children saw one type of a relationship, which was the one that I had with their dad. And now, for the past 5 years, there's a relationship, and I see the ripple effect it has on my kids, especially my daughter. That's what healing does. It's not only for you, which is amazing and great, but it's rippling out to the people closest to you. And if you have children, and of course, as parents, we don't want to see our kids repeat the same patterns as us. Like, that's one of the biggest things that we don't want our children to see. Then that's where this comes in. Okay, it's the top of the hour, so I'm going to get started. For being here. So like I said, pop in where you are listening from. Let us know where you are from. And I'll start, okay? I always start. Denise, huh, North Carolina. There we go. All right. Hopefully you get comments. Sometimes Facebook doesn't let me see your comments. Either way, I will answer all of your questions in the comments, either now or the live completed. All right. Exciting things that I want to today. So stick around to the end for some bonuses that I have for you. We'll be doing exercise on letting go during our time together. And I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to do this live. All right, so like I said, we only have 30 minutes together, and I want to give you as much value and information as possible. So let's get into it. All right, so you're in the right place if you are done with attracting emotionally unavailable men or women, because we have some men in here, or women, and emotionally unavailable relationships, and ready to stop those patterns and cycles so you can create new and healthy relationships. So you're in the right place if that's you. This is not for you if you are still blaming your circumstances on other people and do not want to solve this problem. So just want to make that clear. You're in the right place if you're ready to learn from these narcissistic relationships, and you're not in the right place if you keep blaming your circumstances on other people and don't want to solve the problem. So my mission is to show women and a few that if I can come out of the other side of toxic relationships and a failed marriage, so can you. Out of it, but like heal the shit and never repeat it ever again, right? And also show my children like what a real relationship looks like. Like I said, for 22 years, they only saw a toxic relationship, literally so toxic. All right, so are you ready to learn the exact steps that I did to overcome toxic relationships and have a safe love? Type yes if type yes, I am in the chat. Yes, I am. I'm ready. Yes, I am. Type it in the chat. Type it in the comments. Yes, you're ready. Yes, yes, yes. I love it. I love it. Okay, so my promise to you is you will get clear on how and types of relationships and what you need to do to the next step to do next to stop the patterns and cycles and have your best friend. This is what I hear women say all the time. I want my best friend. I want somebody that I can have open communication with. I want somebody that I can feel safe with. This is really important to us ladies, right? And men, you guys want this too in this relationship with your women. You don't want, to have a relationship where you're feeling so small and just and tired all the time. There's a lot of exhaustion in these relationships. And that's because you, unfortunately, were in a relationship with somebody who is an energy vampire, an energy sucker. They suck all the energy out of you. So this leaves you feeling exhausted. This brings on a slew of health issues. But the good news is all you have to do is heal, not therapy. Therapy doesn't solve this. I love therapy and it works great. It does get you a little bit up, the ladder, but the healing is what really catapults you and is the catalyst for you to wipe this out. I did both. So I know this. And also I know this because I've had clients who've come to me who have been through years of therapy and they tell me the same thing. So love therapy. It works. It's helpful, but it's not healing. And that's the difference. So in return, I ask that you are fully present. here. This is really important. So you can gain the most value and information that will change your life. So by being engaging and asking questions, that is so important. And here's the thing about questions, because I used to be that person who didn't ask questions. Um, that one question that you may think is irrelevant or you even may think it's stupid is the exact question that someone else was wanting to ask. Okay, so ask away. I am so open to answering your questions. All right, so are you ready to be fully present? Ready? Type yes in the chat. Are you ready to free of your relationships, all these toxic relationships? This is another thing that I hear from women, and this is another thing that I've created for myself, is fucking freedom. Freedom to be you, freedom to express yourself, freedom to just be comfortable in this relationship. No more walking on eggshells. No more watching what you say or watching what you don't say. No more dressing the way that you think that he wants you to dress or the way you're supposed to dress. Freedom. Total and utter freedom. Type yes. I'm ready for freedom. Yes. Let's have lots of energy today. Lots of energy. This is how we create, right? It's the energy that creates. And that's what I teach my clients about, the energy. All right. So during this training, I feel hair on me. You'll learn how to identify toxic people early on. These were your questions that I'm answering, okay? Why you keep attracting these toxic relationships, and how to have a safe love, how to find a safe love, how to have a safe love. And it's really super simple. I really want you to get that. It's not complicated, I promise you. No matter what's been told to you, no matter what you hear, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that you're going to cry and go through some shit. Yeah, you are. But my point to you in saying this is that the whole concept of healing is super simple. It's not difficult. It's not hard. And the other good part of it is, unlike my clients who have been through 10 years of therapy, this doesn't take 10 years to heal. It doesn't take 10 years to heal, because what we do is we go right into it. Okay. I meet you where you are right there, and we go from there. I take you to the next level, and here we are again, right? We've climbed up this ladder. Now I meet you here, we climb up and just keep climbing, keep climbing. Okay. So who's ready to release the past so you can experience what it is like to have a safe love, right? That safety of just being you, that safety of saying and whatever you want and not thinking about what the repercussions would be to the statement that you just made. Whether love or frustration, not safe all the time. Type yes, yes in the chat. And then at the end, for those of you stick around, I have a bonus for you. I have some extras that I want to share with you at the end for you fast action takers. So stay to the end to get that gift. All right. All right. And who loves being gifted free bonuses just for fully showing up? Like, meh, meh. Hello, that's me. All right, so for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Denise Dominguez, and I am a transformational women's coach who specializes in helping women heal after toxic relationships. And I've done this for myself. So I myself was in a 22-year toxic relationship filled with traumas and dramas and chaos. So I get it. I get where you've been. I get where you are. I was lied to, cheated on, and abused emotionally, mentally, psychologically, financially, and sometimes physically. I tested positive for STDs in both of my pregnancies, which was the first trimesters of my pregnancies, and I survived years of his abuse. And now on the other side, and I am thriving. So the whole goal, ladies and gentlemen, is not to survive this experience that you've been through, but to fucking thrive after this experience that you've been through, right? Screw surviving. Surviving is just barely making it. I mean, I talk to women all the time who are just surviving after the divorce. right? They barely get up out of bed. They're so exhausted. They barely make it through the day. They have no attention for their children because they're just so exhausted because the energy has completely been sucked out of them. That's surviving. You're alive. You're making it day to day. That's surviving. You want to thrive. You want to fucking thrive after this. You want to, have your dream life. You want to experience all of the things that you've wanted or you thought you had in the past, right? And that's what I want for you too. All right, so the first step that I had to do was to learn to love myself again. This is crucial in the healing process after these toxic relationships, to work on building myself, right? Because your confidence is shut down over and over and over and over again in these toxic relationships. I had to learn to let go of the guilt and shame that that was holding me back, right? The guilt of being in that relationship for 22 years and allowing my children to see and go through the traumas that they went through because they've experienced traumas as well. They were right there in the muck of it. So I had to let go of a lot of shame and guilt that I was holding on to. And that shame and guilt was holding me back from creating what I now have, which is a successful online business where I've taken the pain and turned it into my passion to help others get through, and over and thrive after the toxic relationships, right? Marrying my best friend in now 4 months, and only having healthy relationships. I've even healed the relationships between my son and me. So for those of you who've had a difficult relationship with your child, I get it. That is the most heartbreaking. But you can heal that too. You can heal that too. And that's, that's a whole nother masterclass, right? That's a whole nother training, is how you do this with your children, right? So I've survived and thriving after toxic love and have created, writing an Amazon #1 international best-selling book and personally helping tons of women and counting take back their power and their life by learning to build their life back up. This is what it's all about, right? Taking you, like I said, meet you where you're at, bringing you to the next level, meeting you there, bringing you back up, bringing you, keep climbing that ladder, right? To where you actually want to be. All right. And so loving yourself again. And this journey was not easy. It is simple, but it's not easy. And here's the difference. It's simple, but we make it complicated. Our ego gets in the way. And that's how it can seem difficult, but it's not. It's simple. But it was, without a doubt, fucking worth it. I can tell you that. I am so grateful for my 22-year toxic relationship. I love him. I have no feelings of hate or anger towards him at all, or my experience. Like, I embrace my experience and I want to get that to you. I want to get that concept across to you, that you want to get to that place where you love your ex, where you're grateful for that experience, even as shitty and toxic as it was, even as if the abuse was over the top insane. I want you to experience that feeling of healing. All right. So the benefits you receive and my clients receive from your transformation vehicle is what I have gained since starting my healing journey is an unbelievable feeling of love in all areas of my life. And this is where you want to come from, right? All of the pain, the hurt, the abuse, the confusion, the uncertainty, the lack of trust, the lack of self-confidence, and the lack of self-love are all gone. My clients receive this too. They feel lighter, right? And free within themselves so they can heal when they heal from their emotional wounds. And I'm going to get to that, the emotional wounds. And they get a sense of peace, right? Because when you've experienced so much chaos and now you have some, anxiety and depression, the #1 thing that I hear women say is, I want peace in my life. I want peace and calm. So they get that sense of peace inside of them. and now come from a place of love, right? Loving that experience and loving all of the shit. So important. Okay, so I only have healthy relationships in my life. That's what I experienced. So even with my toxic sisters who like to pop up every now and then via email, which now I've cut that off, I respond totally different to them and understand that it is not about me when they're attacking me. This is so important for you to know. And it has everything to do with them. And also, why the question of when this happens, when these toxic people pop into my life, why is this happening? What do I need to go deeper into me to solve this? Right? These are thoughts you can ask yourself. I don't take personal. I don't take shit personal anymore. That means no more hurt from them like I used to feel. I used to go into the victim mentality of why are they doing this to me? And all I ever do, I leave them alone. I don't bother them. And they're still, are mean to me. And they still say this to me. And they know me. They're my sisters. So they know how to get right to the heart of things and twist that knife so good. Right. And so that's how I used to respond in the victim mentality. And now I'm like, girl, you got some work to do. Block, delete, goodbye. Actually, I copy and paste it and it's going in my next book. And I'm not going to lie. Part of it is that troublemaker side of me, that rebellious teenagers are like, fuck you. Okay. You want to say this shit to me? Well, I'm going to put it in my book. But the biggest part of me is I use my life and my experiences as an example for you. So I copy and paste and it's going in my book so that I can show you and millions of other women of how, oh, that's not a text from me. Oh, how differently they can respond to these toxic people. Okay? That's the key. That's the freedom inside of you. That's the peace and calm within you. I no longer take these things personal. All right? I'm marrying my best friend in 4 months on a North Carolina beach, surrounded by 100 of our family and friends, and even some of my clients are going to be there, which is exciting. And I am the most authentic self with Ray, my fiance, and feel 100% free in my relationship now, right? Totally different. So let me just check with you guys and say, okay, awesome. I'm here. Michelle says I'm here. Yay, Michelle. Okay. Okay. You just let on where you're coming from. All right. So I get the sweetest random text from like this from Ray. And I'm sharing this with you to show you what's possible for you, right? I'm sharing this with you for love. I'm sharing this as an example to show you what 22 years is a long. Okay, here's how the text goes. I fucking love you, babe. Hope you're feeling better, with a rose emoji. Just a simple random text like that means so much to us, right, ladies? Or this one, you look so beautiful, like you did the first day I saw you and stared at you, with 3 heart emojis, a rose, and kissy face. Ladies, you can have this too. I want you to know this. No matter what you've been through, no matter what you're going through, you can have this safe love too. So I want you to say it. I want you to feel it. I want you to believe it to your core that you can have this kind of love too. It's so possible. 22 years is a long time. All right. So do you believe that for yourself? Like, do you believe that you can deserve this kind of love, this safe love? Right. So type in the chat if you type in the chat, I deserve this. I deserve this kind of love. I want this kind of love. Right? Want, all caps. Love, all caps. Type it with the fire inside of you and the worthiness of I fucking deserve this kind of love and respect. I deserve it. Type it in the chat. Are you ready to heal your heart? We're going to go over 30 minutes. Duh. It's okay. Are you ready to heal your heart and let true love in so that you can get these kinds of text messages from your best friend, right? Type a heart in the chat. Type a heart in the chat if you are ready to heal your heart and let love in. All right, I'm ready to dive in and get into the content. All right. Whoop, whoop. Oh, that feels good. Let's get this party started. All right. So I want to share a story with you. And I share this story with you because I want you to understand where you're at and what it takes for you to move, what it takes for you to take action, what it takes for you to move out of the ego, which is pulling you down and keeping you safe, ego version of safe, and holding you back from actually going for what you want. Okay. So the story is get off the nail. Okay, there was a young man walking down the street and happened to see an old man, excuse me, sitting on the porch. Next to the old man was his dog, who was whining and whimpering, right? And the young man asked the old man, "What's wrong with your dog?" The old man said, "He's laying on a nail." The young man asked, "Laying on a nail? Well, why doesn't he get up?" And the old man replied, "It's not hurting him bad enough." Let that sink in for a second. The reason why we don't take action is because the pain and the suffering is not bad enough. So that's a story by Les Brown. If you don't know him, follow him. He's amazing. And so I want you to think about this. I want you to ponder this for a second. I want you to think about, there's only two reasons why people make changes in their life, and that's out of inspiration or desperation. And in the final analyst, what really matters is not what happened to you, but what you are prepared to do about it. Are you going to moan, groan, and complain, shrinking into fear? Or are you going to wake up, get up, and tap into the seeds of greatness and possibility within you? Those are great questions for you to ask yourself. Okay, so the first question is how to identify toxic people early on. I get this a lot. Okay, Denise, just tell me, how can I identify that this person is toxic early on so I know not to have a relationship or anything with that person again? Relationship, spousal, you know, networking, business. I hear a lot of this in business relationships, boss, coworkers, etc. Okay, so there's a few ways you can do this. The top reason I say is your gut. Your gut is always going to tell you. You could meet somebody and by all appearances and on paper, they look good. Meaning maybe they're a pillar in the community, they're very well liked, maybe they have a high status in their personal life and even in their business. But you meet them, and like I said, by all appearances and on paper, they look good, but you get this feeling of, I don't like this person. I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it, but I don't like this person. Here's what happens. There is a moment where you shift from, I don't like this person, to, yeah, but they're nice and they haven't done anything to me. And they have, a big network and they have a lot of friends and da 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 da, and they look good or they make money or whatever it is. And on paper, if we're talking about relationship, on paper, he's everything I've ever wanted, right? He's got a house, he's got his shit together, he makes good money, he's good looking, yada yada yada. So that shift right there goes from I don't know what it is to, let me just give him a try. Let me just give him the benefit of the doubt. Let me just see what happens. And in that moment, in that shift, what you've done is you've ignored your intuition. You've ignored your gut. And now you've gone into, let's see what happens. Always, always, always trust your gut. Always, always, always trust your gut. You may not know in the moment of why your gut is saying this to you, but you'll find out later on why your gut said that to you. So how do you identify toxic people early on? Listen to your gut. It never lies to you. Ever, ever, ever. Okay? That's like the biggest thing that I can share with you right there on how to identify these people early on. That's the biggest thing. The other thing is once you've healed from toxic relationships, you can identify these people early on because A, your intuition's going to be a hell of a lot stronger because you're trusting it a lot more because that's what I teach in the healing process. And then the other thing, you see signs that are telling you, don't do it, don't do it, right? Don't do it, Carol, don't do it, Michelle, don't do it, Jennifer, everybody who's listening, don't do it. And because your intuition is now so strong and you have a really good relationship with your gut, you're trusting, you listen. You listen. You hear things now that you didn't hear before. So let me give you a quick example. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but I met this woman networking. She was very drawn to me, and in the beginning, my gut said, she doesn't resonate with me. But here's what happened. She was like, we can do an event together and we can do speaking together and we can do this. So I was all about that, right? She was saying the things that she knew I wanted to hear. This is how they pull you in to their world and their energy. So I went for it. And we started to build this business relationship. Well, what happens in a business relationship? Well, it was her birthday and she invited me to her birthday. So now it's starting to get personal. Oh, let's have a business meeting. Come over to my house because we both work from home, right? Come over to my house. My husband's going to make, barbecue ribs and this and that. And so don't worry about dinner. Just show up. And so during this process of time, I'm hearing and seeing the red flags early on. And I'm going, oh, hell. Oh gosh, Denise, what'd you get yourself into? Right? I made a commitment with her. And the commitment was a speaking engagement. And slowly she's pulling me into her world where she wants me to do, be a part of her nonprofit, which great. I love your dreams, but I got my own, right? And I'm falling for it. I'm going along with this plan until it all came to a head. And this head was this event that we were supposed to do together had only 8 tickets sold. And I felt it wasn't fair to the 8 people who were expecting to, because it was like a networking type of thing, to only have 8 people there. It wasn't fair to us speakers. Let's do the numbers. Okay, tickets, there's going to be some, oh, the weather was this, or oh, I got sick, or oh, my kid, or oh, something, and less than 8 people show. It wasn't fair. I felt like it wasn't fair. My suggestion was let's reschedule this event. Let's put it for another like month out so that we can have more time to promote and market. Well, this is where it all came to a head, right? I had already decided in my head, I'm gonna play out this event with her, and after that, I'm cutting everything off with her because I saw where this was going. And so make a long story short, that's where it all came to a head because we disagreed. She got to like yelling at me, and I was like, girl, I'm done. Boop, cut off the relationship. All right, let me move on because I don't want to go too much over time. All right, why you keep attracting toxic people or toxic relationships? Simple answer, you haven't healed. That's why you keep attracting it. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing that you need to fix. You're not damaged. It's simply that you haven't healed from the past experience, and that's why you keep attracting it within you. When you have this in you, remember, like energy attracts like energy. So when you have this in you, and girl, I get it. I did it too. 22 years in a relationship, when I started dating, that's all I attracted was toxic relationships and unavailable men, emotionally unavailable men. That's all I attracted. One, boom, boom, right after the other. And when the nice guy came into my life, including Ray, I pushed him away because my self-worth was still with, I deserve the shit. I don't deserve a nice guy, right? I had a short-term relationship with a guy who was so freaking sweet to me, so respectful to me. Didn't find him attractive at all. Didn't find him attractive. He took me to the Garth Brooks concert. We slept in a hotel together, and I told him, do not, like, nothing's gonna happen. He respected me. He didn't even try. He had a good job. He made good money. He was so sweet. He took me out. He was very active. Didn't find him attractive at all. You know why? I wasn't ready for the nice guy. I wasn't ready for the nice guy. So why do you keep attracting these toxic relationships and toxic people? It's because you haven't healed from the last one. You got to heal. Okay? Safe love. Three questions, the biggest questions that you asked, and this is what I'm answering for you. How do you find safe love? You go within. You feel safe within yourself. If you're experiencing anxiety, that's not safe. Where are you experiencing anxiety? In you. So if you're experiencing anxiety, which is a feeling of fight or flight, how could you expect to find a safe love if you don't feel safe within you? You have to feel everything that you want in your outside world, you have to have in your inside world. You have to feel safe within you in order for you to find a safe love. You have to love yourself. You have to love and adore yourself. You have to fall in love with yourself first in order for you to have somebody truly and deeply fall in love with who you are right now, flaws and all. Let's be real. None of us are perfect. You're never going to be perfect, and that's okay. That's perfectly okay. You can find somebody who falls in love with you with your flaws, with your past. It's okay. The more you embrace it, the more it'll be attractive. But if you're like, I hate my past. I can't believe that, my ex did this and my ex did that. And he's such a dick and I hate him and da 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 da. And I just hate it. You're hating a part of you. Your past is a part of you. It doesn't define who you are. No, but it's a part of you. It's a part of your past. It's a piece. It's a piece of you. So if you're hating all of that, you're hating a piece of you. And if you are putting out this energy of hate, you're going to attract hateful people. You're going to attract that experience within, right? From the outside world in. So how do you find a safe love? You find safety and love within you. I told you it's not complicated. It's simple. It's just, how do I do that, Denise? Right? Okay, Denise, you make it sound so simple. Okay, how do I do this? How do I apply this to my life so that I can have and be a soulmate relationship? How does that happen? Right? It's the how that I teach, right? I'm giving you all of the answers, but you want to know how. How do you do this? How do you create this for yourself? So you can have a safe love too, right? And that's why I repeat that over and over again. I did it, right? So here's the choice. You can waste a lot of time and effort on your own, and you can read the books, you can do the therapy, and you can go to the podcasts and the webinars. You could do all that, but I promise you what that's going to lead you to is a very, very slow process, because you have to go within and you have to heal this. You have to nip this in the bud. You can fast track this with your results by a peace after narcissism session with me. And so on this session, we're going to talk about breaking up with your frustration about your current situation and attracting unhealthy relationships and emotional unavailable men, right? And on this session, you will receive an aha moment you've been waiting for in, why does this keep happening to me? That is the biggest question. Why does this keep happening to me? And on this session, we will create a personalized plan for you, right? That's what it's all about. It's about me giving to you what you need exactly, right? How to stop the cycles and patterns of attracting emotionally unavailable men or women, for you guys who are listening, and start attracting loving relationships with someone who adores you, someone you can laugh with, have fun with, enjoy life with, and someone who is as devoted to you as you are to him or her. All right. One more step. Hold on. Okay, so the reason why I'm offering this session is that I know what it's like to take in this information that I've given to you, but still feel stuck, right? Because there's that how piece. Like, how do I do this, Denise? Okay, you've given me all of the answers, but how do I do this? What it covers in your session will be the steps and plan into your, I call it woman energy. For men who are listening, it's your man energy, and for a generalized verbal piece of this, it's adult energy. How do you step into your adult energy? That's you climbing the ladder, right, out of this and getting to the top. All right. So we will release the old stories that are holding you back, and my secret tools to keep you moving forward, right? So if you take away one thing today from this training, that I'm 7 minutes over on already, I want you to know how you can heal your heart without it taking years. This is about healing. You have emotional wounds that now, from your experience, they're oozing. Let's just be real. Let's look at your emotional wounds as an external wound, excuse me. They're oozing. They hurt. They're instead of getting better, they're getting worse. And you don't know what to do because you keep applying the medicine. You keep doing the things that they say to do, but the wounds are not getting better. You're frustrated. You're like, what the fuck? What do I do now? I don't understand. I'm covering it up. I'm putting anti ointment on it. The anti, not bacteria. You know what I'm talking about. Antibiotic. Whoop, there it is. I'm putting the antibiotics on it. I'm covering it up. I'm cleaning it. I'm doing all the things that are said to do to heal this wound, but they're not healing. So now your frustration is growing. Your doubt is growing. Like, okay, well, they said that I do this and it's supposed to heal and it's not healing. So now you're doubting, right? And you're scared. You're scared that this wound is going to get really, so infected that it's going to take over. It's never going to heal. So there's this frustration, doubt, and fear that you're carrying with you. So if you take away one thing today from this training, I want you to know that you can heal your heart without it taking years. You can heal your emotional without taking years. Schedule your peace after narcissism session with me. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. Allow yourself to be guided by somebody who's been there and who can help you, who gets results from her teachings and clients all the time. I post it all the time. And for my clients who are in here right now and listening, they know. And on this call, we're going to get the clarity. You're going to get the clarity of how and why you've attracted these toxic relationships. Because my belief is that once you understand it, once all of the pieces of the puzzle are put together, then it's like, oh, it's such a relief to go, oh gosh, that makes so much sense. Yes, that makes sense. Now I realize, now I see, now I know. And once you have that piece in place, you'll never do it again. Right? This is the first step. Understanding how this has happened to you once, twice, 3 times. You've married him a different version of the same man 4 times. You've been in these relationships a string of times in your life, right? One right after the other. Okay. And so that you can change that for your future and your current relationships, because healing, like I said, it ripples out. All right, so the bonus that I promised you is what I'll do is for the people who take fast action by booking the call, which I will put that in here right now. And let me go to events. I'm going to pop it in the link right now for you. So for you fast action takers, you can book that sucker now. There it is. Okay, awesome. And all right, so here's the bonus. Because the bonus is that for your fast action takers, you will receive the Understanding Narcissism Masterclass that is filled with vital information for you. So what I did in that masterclass is I dove deep into the levels of narcissism, covert, there's the overt, there's, sometimes they have both. And so, like I said, understanding it is the first piece, understanding how I attracted this, right? And I believe that the first part of healing is the understanding part. It makes sense. It's like, okay, I get it, right? And this master class into the various levels of narcissism and your question of how and why they do. I get this a lot too. Why do they do this? Why do they do that? It's all answered for you in this masterclass. So for you fast action takers that book a peace after narcissism call with me, that is the bonus that I'm going to give to you. And so my question to you is now, are you being a magnet for narcissism? I hear this all the time. I feel like, Denise, I feel like I'm a magnet for narcissism. Are you sick and tired of it? Type hell yes. Hell yes, I'm sick and tired of being a magnet for these types of people, right? All right. Who is done with the emotionally unavailable men and who is ready for an adoring, happy, fun, enjoyable, and devoted partner? Who's ready for that? Type, I deserve that. Are you ready to what's going on so you can clear out and finally have and receive the love you deserve? Let me know. Give it to me, ladies. Tell me. I want to hear it. So here's the biggest thing that I want you to know about the process of having a safe love. Having an amazing love and a healthy relationship like the one that I have with Ray. Number one, this takes time. Don't think for 1 minute that this is a snap. Although, like I said before, it doesn't take 10 years, okay? But it does take time. And so you must invest this time into your personal growth. This is for you. Plus, this is the biggest and best investment that you will ever make for yourself. Because when you invest your time, your energy, and the funds it takes to get you to the next level so you can clear out the crap you actually want, your dream having, that you have it all, that you can have your dream life, right? You can have the healthy relationships, you can have the healthy soulmate, you can have the love of your life, and you can have the thriving business, or you can, get the position that you want and make money. You can have all of that. You can have health, physical health. You can have all of it. Nothing is off limits to you. It's your ego that keeps you down. So what you're going to experience took time. Remember that. Your past experience took time, and the healing process will take time too. Let's be real, right? So, how much time, you ask? Like I said, well, it all depends on where you're at. My clients get results quick when they show up and they're ready. They're like, Denise, I'm done. I've experienced X, Y, and Z since I was a child, and I'm done with it. And they're so ready. They're so eager. They're so hungry. Boom, they get results quick. Quick, quick, quick. They shed the layers quick, quick, quick. So how much time does it take? It all depends on you. I had one client who was in therapy for 10 years. I shit you not, 10 years of therapy, and she still was not feeling whole and complete. She was with me for 6 months. That's it. 6 months. Because she was ready. She was ready. You have to be ready. All right. So the other thing is you must be patient with yourself. Again, don't think this is going to happen overnight. Don't think that we're going to have a call and the next morning you're going to wake up and you're going to be a completely new person and everything around you is going to be your dream life, and it's all it takes. You got to be patient with yourself. This takes time. So patience is huge here. You have to be patient with yourself. All right. And like I said, you have to be ready. Those are the three components of, what your results will be. All right. So it's probably going to go like almost an hour. It's just so much that I want to give to you. There's so much value here that I want you to have. It's worth it, right? 30-minute training. Okay. I would have to talk like super fast and give you like one thing. I can't. So let's do this. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to stop and imagine. Okay, so let's just be present right now. Let's slow the energy down. It's Sunday morning, 10:46 a.m. on the East Coast. Just close your eyes. Just be here for a second. Let's take a couple deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Just relax. If you have any noises around you, just observe them. Don't judge them. Just observe. Okay? Another deep breath in. And exhale out. Just be here. Just really, really be here. Really relax. Really relax. And now ask yourself, am I ready to stop this repeated cycle of hurt and pain in my relationships? Now, don't answer that question. Just ask, am I ready to stop this repeated cycle of hurt and pain in my relationships? Just ask. Just keep asking. Am I ready to make myself a priority so that I can get my life and my relationships in alignment with being 100% healthy and whole? Just ask. Just keep asking. Is the pain and the suffering ready to be healed, loved, and supported? Lean into these questions, okay? Lean into them. I'm going to repeat them for you again, especially if you're listening to the replay and you might want to write these down, okay? Am I ready to stop the repeated cycle of hurt and pain in my relationships? And you're just going to. Second question is, am I ready to make myself a priority, a top priority, so I can get my life and relationships in alignment with being 100% healthy and whole? That's the number 2 question. Is this pain and suffering ready to be healed, loved, and supported? Now, my question to you is, what picture do you see for yourself? What picture do you see? And how do you feel in this image you've created? Now, I want you to sit with this feeling of love and devotion for yourself. Are you rewriting the old story into a new one of love and strength and devotion and respect and security and freedom to express yourself, to have the confidence and feel adored and loved for just being you. There are two reasons people make changes in their lives: inspiration or desperation. And in the final analyst, what really matters is not what happened to you, but what you are prepared to do about it. Are you going to moan, groan, and complain, shrinking into fear? Or are you going to wake up, get up, and tap into the seeds of greatness and possibility within you? Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional.